Alright you guys, welcome back. For today's video, I'm pretty sure you guys can tell by the title and hopefully the thumbnail, we're going to be installing a carbon fiber steering wheel, which has been long overdue. I honestly haven't done anything major with the interior besides the starlights. So I felt like the steering wheel was much needed. Finally got my hands on not only the steering wheel, but the steering wheel trim and also carbon fiber pedals. I have not unboxed the wheel yet, so let's go ahead and get into that and get a first look at this. All right, guys, hopefully you can see where the angle is good enough. All right, first look at the wheel. Oh, yep. Looking real clean. Much needed. So for this setup, I went with flat bottom, the leather on the sides, and then obviously the trim. And then I was debating on putting a stripe, either the white one or blue, but I opted to have no stripes, just have a clean look on it. And then these should be the paddles. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box, and then we'll get started on removing the OEM steering wheel and get that out of there. All right, you guys, this is how it's looking. Got the M logo right here. Flat bottom, like I said, no stripe. Super excited to get this in the car. And then also got carbon fiber paddles as well. So let's go ahead, like I said, get that wheel off, swap everything over, and I'll show you guys the process. Excuse the mess in my trunk. I always have a mess in my trunk. I need to clean it out one day. But essentially, I got the battery in there. And just as a precaution to not have the airbag explode in my face, or just explode in general, I'm gonna disconnect the battery so there's no power running to the airbag. Give you guys a quick look at how the steering wheel is looking right now. Again, interior is super dirty. I'll clean everything up soon. All right, you guys, to get this wheel off, obviously the airbag has to come out. All right, so this part is a little confusing. If you see right here, where my thumb is, apparently supposed to poke through there and gain access to release the airbag. So you will need to poke a hole through there if you haven't already, and do that on both sides. So let me try to do that and hopefully not fail. So like I said, rear battery has to be disconnected. You have a 2020 mild hybrid, I guess the front battery has to be disconnected as well. So we'll go ahead and get that out. That way there's no risk of the airbag coming out or anything going on, just for safety. So let me get this out, and then we'll go back to trying to get that airbag out. Now that I have a better understanding of this, when you guys look at this for the first time, there won't be a hole, but there'll be an indentation. Like I showed earlier, you will have to puncture that and go through it to get access to the lever to release the airbag. This side, as you can see, I have out. This side is giving me the biggest pain in the ass. I've been going at it for probably like 40 minutes and it's not coming out. But as you can see, flathead goes in like that, and then you just gotta play with it, man. And apparently if this side is popping out too much, it's gonna cause more tension on this side, harder to get out. So I'm trying to level this out and pull at the same time, but it's crazy hard. But hopefully I can pick this video up with this airbag out. Oh my God. Finally, we have it out. That was the hardest thing ever. That was honestly so bad. If you guys attempt this, make sure you have time, make sure you have patience. All right, hopefully you guys can see well enough. I'm gonna pull this out, and then there will be a plug, one plug, and we will take that out right now. And just like that, finally we have the airbag out. It was that one plug that is connecting it. The pain was these releases right here. So if you see this indentation on both sides. That's essentially where the screwdriver is going to go, or the flathead, and then these pins right here are what you're pushing in to pop it out on both sides. All right, so the only thing else needed to remove the steering wheel from the car is going to be these two plugs right here. First plug that I removed for the airbag was pretty simple to push down on top and then slide out with your finger. These two, I would suggest using something like a pick tool or a flathead like this. For the top one, you want to push down from the top of the plug, and then for this secondary one, you're going to be pushing from the bottom to release it. And then once that is out, this should be a 16 mil. I'm gonna take that out and the wheel should come off. So like I said, that is a 16. Probably easier to take it off with an impact. And then you'll have this. And then should just slide right out. And yeah, that is the OEM steering wheel. Now that we have the wheel out, I'll give you a quick comparison. OEM, not OEM, but much nicer. So as you can see, this one has the flat bottom, the sides, all carbon fiber. And let's go ahead and get working on disassembling and stripping this and moving everything over to this side. All right, first things first, in order to get this trim out, the paddle shifters have to come off. And if you guys can see in here, the blue plugs on each side, those will need to be moved out of the way and just free them up like that. All right, and then if you guys could see, hidden behind where the blue plug was, there is a black T20 is what needs to come out. So let's go ahead and get that out. So that releases the paddle shifters, but they are still plugged in. Make sure you hold on to the T20 screws that come out. All right, so the blue plugs for the paddle shifters should just pull out, but essentially once you have the blue plug disconnected, there is a little hole and the paddle shifter will come right out. All right, so once the paddle shifters are out, there's gonna be another T20 on both sides. All right, so once the paddle shifters are out, the two T20s on the back are released as well. Should be able to pop this up. All right, so there's gonna be this burgundy plug down here, which is gonna be for the steering wheel function. So the steering wheel that I got, it retains the heated function, which is great. Really wanted that function to stay on this wheel because it comes in clutch during winter and helps out a lot. Without blabbering too much, this is the burgundy plug that gets released. With some pressure, pop this bottom piece off. And the last thing is gonna be this plug that should just unplug. So then you have the trim piece, which looks like this. And we need to get this plate out of here as well. So all three of these will come out along with those two that will release this top part. So let's go ahead and do that. There's one, there is two. Three of those will release this plate, but the plate's still held in by this right here, and then there's a sticker that's holding it in as well. All right, so to get this plate out, there's gonna be one little sticker right here that doesn't really hold it in, and then this is gonna be the ground. Just gonna pull that off, and then you will have this plate out. Next, you're gonna have these two T20s. Once you have those, make sure you don't lose the screw. That will allow this section to release. All right, and then one last thing is gonna be this clip right here. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the rest of this should come off. All right, so earlier I took these two screws out, and then the three, there was two outer ones that I forgot about, but those come out as well. Release this top piece. The rest of it can stay together. All of this should just come out. And then this ground connection right here needs to be slowly released. Once you have this ground metal piece out and released, should be able to just take the rest of everything out. And I made the mistake of disconnecting this area, but this whole bottom piece comes out and transfers over to the new wheels. That is pretty much it of what we could have taken off of this OEM wheel. Let me get the new wheel over here and we will start assembling that. So as you guys can see, this is the new wheel. All I've done so far is connect this plug that was already on this wheel, which is for the heated function. Just connected it into this harness. And then all I'm going to be doing is trying to fit everything back in. There are going to be little tabs right here that will fit into the respected holes and help align everything in. So I'll try to go based on that. All right, so now that I have it roughly fitted in, working in the reverse order and screwing everything in. So once I got the harness back into place somewhat, I got this back into place and made sure that this indent corner was fitted in properly. I went ahead and screwed this motor back in with the T20s that we took out previously. And then these wires, I'm having them sit in the hole because the next step is going to be fitting the bracket for the horn in. I'm going to carefully put this back on, and these are going to be funny looking screws. Pop those in. Alright, so once that's in, this black piece top trim that we took off earlier, we could go ahead and reinstall this and slide it back into place. So once you have it lined up, the 4 screws from earlier that are T20s, just gonna get those back in there. So this is the OEM trim piece, the carbon fiber one. We essentially need to swap all these little components over. There are a ton of little torque bit screws all over in order to release everything. Let me figure out what torque bits this uses. All right, so it looks like a T8 is going to be the best bet. So I'm going to loosen all this up. Once I remove the screws, majority of them, just working my way around to be able to have these released, but right here and right here I'm pretty sure are going to have to come out. So removing the 2 little screws right here will release the heater button, place that right there, and then I don't think anything else needs to be transferred over. Looks like that is perfect the way it is right there. If you guys could see, those 2 screws go right in. We have the heater button working. Not working, but in place. Now for these to go in. All right, so I have everything laid back how it was. Just gotta put the tiny screws in all around. All right, you guys, I have the trim all reinstalled. All the screws and whatnot are back in. Wires are all tucked properly, and this looks beautiful. We're getting close to being done. Just need to get everything back in and put the new paddles in. All right, been working on this way too long, but hoping to be done soon if everything goes smoothly. Trying to fit everything back into place. All right, you guys, it is many hours later, still here. I was having an issue once I put the trim back on with the button not being able to be clicked when it's on, but it would be clicking when the trim was off. So after trying, finally I just ended up shaving some area out because it looked like the wheel that I got, there wasn't as much of a triangle or angled top clearance. I must have been holding up the button as far as it being clicked down, because I would put the trim piece in, everything would fit, but the button would not click how it is. So obviously could not overlook that, trimmed everything up, and now finally it fits. Working on swapping the paddles over, and then hopefully everything will be good, set and done, and we could get this back on the car. It's been a super long day. I've been at this for like 4 or 5 hours. It's supposed to be like an hour, 2 hours max install, but it is what it is. I hope it's worth it at the end. All right, you guys, steering wheel's on, driving home, super late. Apologize for not recording the rest of it, but I was just over it, honestly. Let me show you guys the wheel. Quick look at it. Super clean, feels great. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. The paddles feel great. Everything looks good, and that's, you know, the main point of it. The aesthetics, the heating function works, and that was the main thing that was holding me up, because the button was getting stuck. Yeah, I'll most likely show you guys in the morning or in daylight how it looks. It is currently the next day. I could finally show you guys how everything is looking. We have the carbon fiber paddles in, and then we have the new carbon fiber steering wheel all installed. So the issue yesterday was this button right here, when fully put together, was not able to be depressed or pushed properly. But when the trim was out, the button was clicking fine, no issues, and somehow, some way, that fixed the issue. That allowed it to properly fit, and also for the button to work properly. I still will have to take the wheel off in the future and mess with the horn plate, because I think the plating itself, those 3 screws, if you guys remember, I tightened it down a little too much, or I didn't tighten it down enough. The horn isn't able to be depressed as easily. I'm still able to press the horn, just have to press a little harder. Other than that, the wheel looks amazing. Love how it feels. The install was very much overdue and needed, and hopefully I could give you guys better POVs for any POV driving that we're going to be doing in the future. But thank you guys for watching. I apologize for not closing out the video and showing how everything got put back together, but essentially everything is done in reverse and there's nothing major to it. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and yeah, I'll catch you guys then.